Welcome to Empowered by AI. I'm Michelle Muncy-Silva. This podcast is for women building what's next and using AI with intention. In Season 6, you'll hear from founders, educators, creatives, and builders who are actually using AI to think better, work smarter, and move with intention. We're learning from conversations about readiness, literacy, and taking action, because every episode gives you ideas you can use immediately. Let's get into it. Oh, welcome, Ilise. I'm so excited to talk to you today. We are going to get our hands in the mud. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Me too, Michelle. Thank you for the invitation.
I would love it if you would take a minute and just introduce yourself to everyone so they can get to know you a little bit, get excited about what they're in for today.
Absolutely. So, for the last almost 38 years, I think it's been now, I have been teaching creatives and solopreneurs how to get better clients with bigger budgets. My business is called Marketing Mentor, marketing-mentor.com. And I do that in many different ways. I've written 7 books. I do a lot of speaking. I do one-on-one coaching. I do small group coaching. And for the last 5 years, I would say, I have distilled everything I've learned into what I call the simplest marketing plan. And it's a framework that basically tells you the 3 things you need to do, the only 3 things you need to do to market your business and get better clients with bigger budgets, as I like to say, and then you can forget about the rest. And so I sell the plan, I sell a program that supports the plan, and I basically am my mission is just to help people get out of their own way, essentially, and get the work they want.
Yeah, and you talk about a feast or famine cycle
Mhm.
and how you want to help them break that. So I'm a solopreneur. I know a lot of women listening are running their own small businesses. So, I mean, especially if we're pivoting later in life, X number of years,
Or evolving.
what is that root cause of feast or famine? Why do you see that so prevalently?
Yeah, it's so interesting because I see feast or famine both in people who are just starting out and people who have been at whatever it is that they're doing for a long, long time. And for the most part, it's because they're getting word of mouth. When I ask people how they market themselves, they say, I get word of mouth, which is not marketing, right? It's essentially taking whatever comes along and hoping things keep coming. And a lot of people have gotten very lucky and have gotten work, and then suddenly everything dries up and they don't know what to do. They don't have any marketing in place. So, to me, at the root cause of the feast or famine syndrome is this lack of understanding of a principal concept, essentially, which is that business is about relationships, building relationships, and marketing is about nurturing and cultivating those relationships. And that is something you have to do every single day, not just when you have no clients or projects or work. It's something you have to do on an ongoing basis. And I submit to you that that is the cure for feast or famine. And I'm speaking from my own personal experience and the thousands of people I've worked with over the years.
It's that consistency. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you also talk about choosing a viable niche, positioning yourself so that your clients can recognize, okay, this is exactly who we need. So, what mistakes do you see people making when they try to position themselves? And what does that even actually look like?
Yeah, so positioning, I'll use myself as the example when I give you my elevator pitch, which is that I help creatives and solopreneurs get better clients with bigger budgets. That's me positioning myself so that you are nodding your head and saying, that's exactly what I need. And the that has very little to do with me and what I do. It's the outcome that I help you produce. And if you know and speak to the outcome, the goals, or the pain that people are struggling with, then actually, I recently heard someone say that the better you can articulate the pain of the people you want to help, the more they will trust you without even knowing what you do or how you do it. And so, this idea of choosing a niche and positioning yourself, the key to it is understanding that self promotion is actually not about you. Marketing is not about you and what you do. It's about what they need, what they're struggling with, what you can do for them and help them achieve. And most people, I don't think we're wired that way. So you have to kind of rewire your brain to always be thinking and putting yourself in the shoes of the people that you want to help.
Hmm.
And that has to come through in your marketing.
Hmm. And inevitably, there will be, I think, some ebb and flow through it all. So, when business does get a little more quiet, what do you think differentiates the women who bounce back from the ones that spiral and succumb to doubt?
Yeah, the ones who bounce back don't stop. There's nothing to bounce back from, actually. You just keep going, you do more, you try different things. If this isn't working, you try something else. If this market is not responding anymore, you try a different market. You just don't let whatever's happening get in your way of your mission, essentially, which I would think has to do with supporting your family and yourself and making a living and succeeding.
Mhm, mhm. And what is your advice for building that consistent content rhythm when motivation maybe wanes a bit?
Well, I think the first step actually is not waiting for motivation, not relying on motivation to be the thing or even confidence. It's almost like, one of the things they say about writers who are successful is they just show up at their desk and they write every day, whether they feel like it or not, whether they have an idea or not. It's the same with marketing your business. You just have to keep doing it. You can't worry about perfection. You can't worry about, oh, this isn't good enough. You just keep doing it because truthfully, not hardly anyone is actually paying attention. That's why it's so hard to get their attention. And so when we are perfectionistic and we wait until we've got the perfect thing to put out there, then it's too late. You've lost a lot of time. And so I'm just always advising my clients like it's good enough. Right? Who cares? Nobody's going to see it. It's not, they're not going to remember it, even if it's bad. So just keep going, whether it's creating content or reaching out to people or attending networking events or trying new things. You just have to not stop.
Mhm. And I know that not stopping takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of commitment, a lot of cognitive load. So you have this me first philosophy. And I want you to tell us a little bit about that because I want to have you tease out for everyone why is putting ourselves first such a requirement for that stability and that client flow that you're talking about.
Yes. And women, especially, are notorious for not putting themselves first, right? For putting everyone else first. And so already it's difficult. But I want to distinguish what I'm about to say also from what I said before, which is the self centeredness that most people. It's the mistake most people make when they're doing their marketing. Being self centered is not the same as me first. Me first means I need to take care of myself first. I need to take care of my business. I like to say that if you take care of your business will take care of you. And that really works. But that means you have to focus on what you need to do for yourself in order to set the strongest foundation possible so that you can build what I also like to say is a business that you can depend on and help the people that you want to help. And so the thing you have to do is basically, I recommend doing it first thing in the morning, early in the week, right? Like, don't make it like the first thing that you do. So you get it out of the way and it's done and it doesn't get pushed to the bottom of your pile.
And I think that will help people really stay in touch with themselves.
Hmm.
And I know that that's such a vital part of us using our best self to be the brand that we want to be. And you wrote about this recently. You emphasized using your real self to attract those perfect fit clients. So what is showing your voice, your true self? What does that actually mean in practice for you?
Yeah. And this is especially important now with the rise of AI. right? Because AI tends to create what I've heard called the same old problem, or the sameness problem, where everything kind of starts to sound the same. And so, really, more than anything, you have to bring your voice and yourself through your own marketing. And there are a couple ways of thinking about this. One is, if what you say, for example, on your website or on your LinkedIn profile could be said by anyone else just as easily, then it's probably not you and your voice coming through. You have to figure out, or ask your people, right? The people who know you best. What is it about me that makes me me? You probably don't know it yourself. And your mother probably told you not to brag anyway, so you wouldn't be able to come up with it. But you can ask the people around you, what is it? What is my special sauce? What is unique about me? And I'm not talking about big things. I'm talking about just in the language that you use, or the way you think about things, or the way that you see things. And more lately, I'm finding it's also about showing imperfections, right? Everyone is almost to a T, a perfectionist. And yet, that's the thing that AI is also good at, right? Perfecting things. And so I'm not recommending making mistakes intentionally, but don't be so worried or precious about everything such that there are no mistakes in it. And the example that I often use actually is just simply asking questions, because questions, I think, are the answer to everything. And yet, so many people are reluctant and almost afraid of asking questions for fear of appearing not to know things that they should know, but perhaps have no way of knowing. And actually, very early on in my business, I was still trying to figure out who my market was, and I had 2 clients whose businesses I had no idea what they did, and I didn't dare ask them because I cared more about looking stupid than helping them, unfortunately. One was an actuary, and the other, I still don't really know what an actuary does, and the other was a guy who said he did due diligence, and I didn't know what due diligence was, but I proposed to help him market his services even though I didn't understand them at all. And so today, obviously, what I say to anyone is just pretend I know nothing. Pretend I know nothing, tell me everything, and then I'm going to ask some stupid questions. And so that's just an example of me being me. So, what are those things about you, even, Michelle? I wonder that you can bring through in your marketing.
I'm absolutely happy to be wrong all the time. So would you argue that that is the one thing they should focus on, or is there another one singular marketing habit that you think would steady that pipeline? What do you think it should be?
I'm going to say 2 things, because let me give you the 3 things in the simplest marketing plan first, and then tell you how I distill it. Because what I've come up with basically is a plan where you do what I call targeted outreach, which is reaching out to you, choosing the people you want to work with and reaching directly out to them more than once, because you got to get their attention first. But basically, very genuinely, authentically saying, "I love what you're doing. I think I can help. I have some ideas for you. Can we chat?" And timing is everything when it comes to marketing. So they may not respond the first time, but you have to keep in touch. And then the way you keep in touch, which is with the marketing tool number 2, which is content marketing, high quality content marketing that speaks to their needs. And so that could be on LinkedIn, it could be a blog, it could be a podcast, it could be video. There's so many ways to do content marketing. And then the third tool is what I call strategic networking, which is knowing where your people go and meeting them, ideally in person, in real life, because that's how you make an actual impression. It's really hard to do online. It's possible, but it's hard to do. And then you stay in touch with them with your content. If I were to say do one thing or 2 things, I would say do a newsletter monthly, ideally. if possible. But if you can't do it monthly, do it bi-monthly or quarterly as a minimum. But stay top of mind. That is the only way you can stay top of mind, is to get in front of them with content, right? Useful content, which is about showing that you know what they need. So they say, oh my God, this person really understands me. They get me. This is exactly who I need. And little by little, trust develops so that when they're in their moment of need, they say, oh, I know who can help us. And they go fish your newsletter out of their inbox when you thought no one was looking at it. I call that newsletter magic. So that's
Yeah.
one tool, the newsletter. And then the other thing I would do is just commenting on LinkedIn. Commenting is one of the best ways to develop relationships and also gain visibility. I'm not talking about posting. You can post, but I think commenting actually is much more effective than posting.
Interesting. And I know you brought up this kit that you have, and I know you're going to model something for us.
Sure.
So I am super interested in what we're going to see here. And it's going to be something that we can try today and maybe start co-creating with AI.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and first I'm going to show the kit, and then I'll do a little demo with ChatGPT.
Absolutely
All
fantastic.
right, so here is.
Elise, you just went mute for some reason. I cannot hear you. I can see you talking. Okay. I don't know either. Yeah, do you want to do that? I'll just keep it right here. We'll just edit this part. Yeah.
Can you
All
hear me
right.
now?
I sure can.
Weird. I don't know what happened.
Ah, that was weird because I was like, wow, she's taking a long time to say something. Look over at you when you're talking. And I was like, wait, what?
All right, so we'll start with the AI kit again, yes?
Not a problem.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Let me just get rid of that.
Okay.
And up here. All right. All right, so you should be able to hear me and see my screen.
I can.
Excellent. All right, so this is the AI
Perfect.
kit with 5 client getting AI prompts. And this is free, and we'll share the link to get this so you can download it yourself. But you have to start with your elevator pitch because you want to give as much context to the AI as possible. So you could give a simple elevator pitch, which is how you answer the question, what do you do and for whom? And as I said, my simple one is I teach creative professionals how to get better clients with bigger budgets. Or you could ramble and just give it as much context and information about what you do as you can. Whatever, the more, the better. But once you've done that, basically, there are 5 prompts to do several different things. One is you can refine your niche. That's number 1. Number 2 is you can check market viability. So I'm interested in this market. Is it viable for me based on what you know about me? Number 3, find potential clients to reach out to, actual people in actual companies and organizations that you could reach out to. That's one of the best things about AI. Step number 4, you can find their pain points and have the AI draft you messages based on those pain points, which again is more about it's not about you, it's about them and what they're struggling with. And then the 5th one is finding places to meet those people for the strategic networking that I was talking about.
Mhm.
Do you want to say anything about that before I do the little demo?
I absolutely love this. I'm super interested. Have you found that it is accurate when you're asking it to find you actual people?
Oh,
That's
yes,
always a
definitely.
concern.
Yeah, no, it used to hallucinate at the beginning, maybe a year or so ago, but not anymore. Now they're real people.
Interesting.
All right, so
Interesting.
let me show you.
Okay.
I have a thread that I pulled up from a different talk that I gave. So I'm just going to walk you through the thread. All right. Share my screen again. Here it is. Okay, so you should be able to see a very dark screened ChatGPT.
Mm.
All right, so the prompt here is we always want to give it a role. especially if it doesn't know who it should be for this particular prompt. So assume the role, I say, of an expert marketer with an MBA. You could elaborate on that and say who knows all about the healthcare industry or whatever you're interested in. Based on this elevator pitch, my elevator pitch, which you're going to give it, please identify 5 potential target markets I'm best suited to serve. So what markets are best for me? And it will tell, it was telling me freelance designers and copywriters, coaches, healers, and wellness practitioners, and it explains why, right? Here are 5 markets. And then I said, oh, it asked if I want to rank the 5 by profitability. Sure, why not? Go ahead. So it did that. And then I said, you pick one. I'm very interested in working with, I said, copywriters and designers. Based on what you know about me, is this a viable market for me? Tell me why or why not. And so then it says why. Here's why it's viable. Caveats. Sometimes they don't have money. That's important, right? Bottom line. All right. Then I have a favorite client. I'm going to ask it for more people like my favorite client. So I said, my favorite client is Rebecca. She's a Netherlands-based ghostwriter for climate tech execs. Give me 10 real people just like her, but in the US. They could be relatively established, but with inconsistent marketing and could use help to grow. Please include a link to their website or LinkedIn profile. And then it gave me people. And I checked them. These are real people. Right. And as you know, Michelle, sometimes the sources, they gave me a table of them, but the sources are sometimes even more valuable than the output. So I like to go to the source because some of these sources are, the 10 best ghostwriters in the US. And those might be good prospects for me. All right, then, okay, thank you. Tell me what you know about these prospects, about what these prospects need and what their pain points are, as well as the best way to approach them. Okay. So, did that. Here's what they need. Here are their pain points. Oh, look, feast-or-famine, very common. Marketing avoidance, feeling overwhelmed, guilty, or unsure what to prioritize, isolation. I mean, this is not just for the particular market I'm talking about. This is very general, but it is also true. Time poverty, inconsistent branding, lead with empathy, not critique, position yourself as a simplifier, use proof from their world, offer a low risk first step. So one of the things I like to say about AI is that it removes obstacles. Whenever you come across an obstacle in your marketing, use AI, because then you can't say, oh, I couldn't think of anything, or, oh, I couldn't find the right people. Right. That is how I really like to use it. If if you have a directory of prospects that you know are your ideal clients, then use that. You don't need ChatGPT for that. If you have the information and know what to do, use it. But if you get stuck, I like to use AI for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the barriers are removed.
Exactly.
So much more so than they ever have been in the past.
Exactly. There's no excuse anymore.
Yeah.
And I think this is the last one here. Please give me a list of events in 2025 or 2026 where I can meet these people in real time, virtually, but ideally in person, especially in, and then you insert your location. And so then I got a list of events that I could attend. I think I asked for questions also. Give me 5 questions to ask to learn more about how they market their businesses and what their pain points are, right? Because I know that you get this list of events. Yeah, but what am I going to say? They're not going to want me there. Like, this just anticipates all of the problems that someone could bring to this process. So that's my little demo.
Now, I'm thinking of something interesting as well. So if you have this and you are inclined to, all of those events might need speakers as well.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Absolutely.
So you could be a speaker at that event and then they really get to know you.
Exactly. Yes, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's fascinating. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. You can see how it just kind of, when you watch it, you're seeing it in action. It just spurs so many ideas. Makes me
Yeah,
want to
I
go
hope
try
so.
it right.
Good. That's exactly what I want.
Oh, Elise, thank you so much for joining us. When somebody is watching this and they're having the exact same feeling I'm having right now, where are they going to connect with you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn. My name is very unusual. I'm the only Elise I know. So with an Ilise Benun. You can go to marketing-mentor.com. Don't forget the hyphen. That's where you can sign up for my quick tips. I send out tips every other week. And I have a YouTube channel. I have a podcast of my own, the Marketing Mentor Podcast. And you can also download the free AI kit. So plenty of free resources.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Absolutely appreciate it. And we're going to be trying those prompts as soon as we get that kit.
Awesome. Thank you, Michelle.
You've been listening to Empowered by AI, and I'm your host, Michelle Muncy-Silva. If something from this episode clicked, don't let it stop here. Take one idea and try it out this week. And if you want to go deeper, head over to the Empowered by AI, the Slay Effect YouTube channel, where you can watch demos and walkthroughs from our guests today and so many others. Like, subscribe, and join us there so you don't miss out on what's coming next. All the links and resources are in the show notes. I'll see you next time.